Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is February the 16th, and this is the Housing and Real Property Subcommittee, and we are live streaming at the present time. So keep your comments about how wonderful I am at the very minimum.
Won't be hard to do.
Oh, I understand. We have 4 bills this morning. And there's Mary. And the bills are HB 91, HB 263. And because of yesterday's hearing, today we've added HB 615 and HB 616 to our list. And we're going to be voting on all 4 of these bills today. Let us start with HB 91.
Move favorable.
That's exactly what I was looking for. I probably should. Oh my goodness! There's a motion and a second.
And a third. Can I third?
Okay, that's great. Any discussion on HB 91? Hearing none, all in favor of HB 91 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition to HB 91? Fantastic. We will move forward then with, we'll put together a favorable recommendation to the full committee on HB 91. We'll now move on to HB 263. And we heard this bill a couple of weeks ago. And this is the bill about the rodents. And as you all recall, from the hearing, there was a lot of concerns from a lot of different groups about this particular bill. I mean, we've heard a similar bill to this last year as well. It did not make it through. I don't think it made it through the committee last year either. Is that correct, Matthew? As I'm looking back.
That's correct. The bill was not acted on by the committee in 2021.
Okay. So I'd like to have the same posture of it this year. If there's a motion for unfavorable, I certainly would appreciate
favorable.
it. Unfavorable.
Unfavorable, excuse me.
Second.
Is there a discussion on the unfavorable for HB 263? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the unfavorable signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. The unfavorable motion is carried, and a letter of recommendation of the unfavorable will go forward to the full committee for voting on Friday. We'll now move to HB 615. HB 615 is a bill that we heard last year. It passed the full House last year and died in the Senate. It is sponsored by by a wonderful delegate named Delegate Healy.
Co-sponsored by the chair of the subcommittee.
We're so kind.
He's not as wonderful as the main sponsor, though. We've heard this bill last year. It passed out favorable through the committee and through the House, and I would appreciate a favorable motion on this bill as well. Is there a second on HB 615?
Second.
Any discussion necessary on HB 615? Hearing none, all in favor of HB 615 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposition to HB 615? Fantastic. Hearing none, we will have a favorable recommendation to the full committee on HB 615. We'll now move on to HB 616. This bill also has a wonderful sponsor by the name of Delegate Healy. It received also a favorable recommendation from this committee last year and passed the House last year. Oh, no, passed the House last year. Now, I think that there is a revision. I should have mentioned this before too. The revision extends the mailing date from 10 days to 15 days. I think that's the Delegate Healy. I think that's the only amendment. Delegate Healy.
There's a technical amendment as well.
And
Drafting error that needs to be addressed.
Excuse me.
So the amendment needs to be voted upon first. And if that's the case, then Matthew, can you explain what the amendment is, what it does?
Sure. So the amendment, as Delegate Healy had mentioned, is meant to correct a drafting error in the bill as introduced. The process for HB 616 is supposed to mirror in many ways the process for HB 615. There was a change to allow 15 days, increase the statutory minimum time period for an alleged violator to abate a continuing violation without further sanction. That statutory minimum amount of time was not extended in HB 616. The change was made in a different area of the bill. So this undoes the change that was never meant to be and correctly modifies that time period from 10 to 15 days.
Move the
Perfect.
amendment.
Second, I'm sorry, is there a second on the amendment?
Second.
Second.
Discussion, additional discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the amendment carries. Do I have a motion on the bill as amended?
So moved.
There's a second on,
Second.
there's a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Any discussion on the bill as amended? Hearing none, all in favor of HB 616 as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Fantastic. The bill carries and will receive a favorable recommendation to the full committee. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very productive meeting. As the chair of the committee says, you are free to go.
One thing, Mr.
Well,
Chairman,
I'm totally
One thing.
confused. What are you talking about?
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry. Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir,
have no
Delegate.
idea what,
hold it.
cannot process.
This is confusing.
Mr.
How is
Chairman,
it confusing? Mr. Delegate Silverberg?
Hard drive,
thank you.
hard drive failure.
I think
Thank
Deja
you.
Will Robinson,
we
Deja
should give
Will
our
Robinson.
round of applause to Matt Micklin. Let's thank Matt for all the work he does for us.
Yes, indeed.
All right, thank you.
See you guys. at
Thank
1
you,
o'clock.
everyone.
Bye. Ciao, wherever I am. Carry on. It's been a hoot.